Are you absolutely tired of standing in those endless, soul-crushing lines at the DMV? Well, today we're going to show you exactly how to renew your vehicle registration online in Louisiana quickly and easily, right from the comfort of your own home. Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're taking Louisiana Office of Motor Vehicles documents, state statutes, and official procedures and turning them into your ultimate guide for skipping the DMV altogether. Okay, let's just dive right into this explainer and kick off your journey to escaping those notorious waiting rooms. Look, keeping your vehicle registration updated is absolutely essential, right? You need it to legally drive on public roads and, of course, to avoid those hefty citations. But renewing it doesn't mean you have to sacrifice your entire afternoon anymore. The digital age has brought us some incredible, time-saving portals that let you dodge late penalties without ever having to leave your couch. So, here is our roadmap for today. We're going to cover the online renewal advantage, eligibility and preparation, a step-by-step renewal guide, troubleshooting and regional rules, what to actually do after you renew, and finally, some pro tips and a quick disclaimer. Let's get into it.
Section 1. The Online Renewal Advantage. Skip the DMV lines with Express Lane.
Here is your golden ticket, the state's secure e-commerce portal, expresslane.la.gov. This system is brilliantly designed to handle your common motor vehicle transactions. And the best part? It never sleeps. It is quite literally available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. There's just a tiny blink-and-you-miss-it administrative window around midnight where credit card transactions pause. But other than that, it entirely empowers you to handle your renewal on your own schedule.
Moving on to Section 2, Eligibility and Preparation. Who can renew and what you need. Now, the crucial thing to know here is that while most Louisiana residents are totally eligible to use this system, there are a couple of gatekeepers. You are good to use the online portal if you have your computer-generated renewal notice or your current, previously issued registration. But you cannot renew online if your notice specifically demands additional documentation, or if your license plate has already expired way beyond the allowed grace period. If you fall into that ineligible category, unfortunately you will have to visit a local OMV field office or a public tag agent.
If you are eligible, which most of us are, you just need to gather a few tools before you sit down at your computer. Having these ready will make the checkout process incredibly smooth. First, you need your renewal identification number from your mailed notice. Don't have it? No worries at all. You can just use your current license plate number, vehicle model year, and the expiration date on your current sticker. You'll also need a valid Visa, MasterCard, Discover, or American Express card to cover the fees, which does include a state electronic commerce service charge. And finally, have a printer ready if you can. You are definitely going to want to print your receipt, and I'll tell you exactly why in a minute. All right. Section 3. Step-by-Step Renewal Guide. The 5 Steps to Digital Compliance.
Unlike a lot of clunky government portals, there is absolutely no complicated account setup required here. You jump straight into 5 really straightforward steps. Step 1, you just enter your vehicle info to pull up your record. Step 2, review the fee breakdown. This shows your standard fee, any local parish surcharges, that electronic commerce fee, and any late fees if you're expired. Step 3 is super important. Verify your address. While changing the address on your driver's license usually requires an in-person visit, they actually let you change your vehicle registration address right here during this online process. Step 4, authorize your payment. And Step 5, view and print your receipt. Like I said, this printed receipt is basically a magic shield, which we'll get to shortly.
Section 4. Troubleshooting and Regional Rules. Navigating flags and inspections. Okay, let's talk roadblocks. The most common pitfall you might run into is something called an NI flag. Louisiana law strictly requires active liability insurance on all registered vehicles. If your coverage ever lapsed, the system automatically slaps an NI flag on your record, completely blocking your online renewal. No way around it online. If this happens, you have to clear the flag by proving you have active coverage and paying any reinstatement fees. You can do this through the OMV call center, by mail, or by visiting a public tag agent. Now, the state is actively modernizing this whole process, but they are keeping some complex regional rules in place. Check this out. Starting in 2027, House Bill 1085 eliminates the traditional safety inspection sticker from most of the state. It gets replaced with a simple $6 QR code decal that just comes in the mail with your registration. But wait, if your vehicle is domiciled in Orleans Parish, you are completely exempt from this new state QR code. Why? Because New Orleans maintains its own municipal brake tag safety inspection program, which will cost you between $25 and $50. And that brings us to the number 5. That is the exact number of parishes, Ascension, East Baton Rouge, Iberville, Livingston, and West Baton Rouge, that have a very special caveat. Thanks to Federal Clean Air Act mandates, vehicles in these 5 parishes still have to pass an annual OBD2 emissions test. For you guys, the old safety inspection fee drops off, but you still pay for the emissions test, plus the new QR code, totaling around $14. The big takeaway here? Always check your specific parish requirements. Failing to have a current emissions test on file could totally disrupt your registration status.
Section 5. After you renew, what to expect next.
So, you've paid. What happens now? The moment you hit submit, your administrative record updates instantly on the state's database, usually showing up by the very next business day. However, it can take up to 30 days to actually receive your physical vehicle registration certificate and sticker in the mail. So keep a close eye on your mailbox. If you don't receive it after that 30-day mark, you have a strict 60-day window from your application date to march into a field office and request a replacement credential for absolutely zero charge. And this brings us right back to step 5, printing that receipt. Louisiana Revised Statute 4758 legally protects you from citations if you happen to get pulled over while your physical documents are still snail mailing their way to your house. You want to keep that printed receipt sitting right in your glove box next to your insurance card. It acts as your temporary legal proof that you submitted a proper application and paid your taxes. It literally authorizes you to drive legally while you wait.
Finally, Section 6, Tips and Final Disclaimer. LA Wallet and some closing thoughts.
If you want a real pro tip for the future, you have to set up the state's official LA Wallet mobile app. It is a fantastic way to completely bypass the anxiety of waiting on the Postal Service. You can link your vehicle directly inside the app, track its status, and even process your renewal right there. Once it's processed, you get a legally valid digital registration straight to your smartphone in just 2 to 3 days. It serves as immediate digital proof of compliance while your physical sticker is in transit. Honestly, it's an absolute game changer for keeping your vehicle info organized.
Now, as with all things bureaucratic, rules, fees, and those tricky regional inspection policies are always subject to legislative updates, so I do need to give you this mandated disclaimer. This explainer aims to provide general guidance based on the current information available. Legislation and procedures can change, so please consult the official Louisiana OMV website or contact their support for the most accurate and up-to-date information. We really hope this explainer empowers you to take control, handle your registration with absolute confidence, and seriously, never waste time in a DMV line ever again. If you found this helpful, definitely share it with anyone else who might benefit. But all of this really begs the question, now that you've successfully reclaimed an entire afternoon from the jaws of bureaucracy, what on earth are you going to do with all that free time? Thanks so much for joining us on The Explainer.